All right. Let's see if we can do a little clever, cool, crazy action here. It's been a while since we've done a live stream, so it's just me talking about clever, cool, crazy. Let's see here. And one of these days, I'm going to actually change over and we won't be using OBS, and maybe things will go a little easier. So, but anyway, I hope you all are having a fine Friday the 13th. And we do have a new actual edited version of Clever Cool Crazy dropped in the Google Drive, mostly cleaning up some of the table of contents and continuing to try and make it a little bit easier to follow along. A lot of the core of the mechanics remain about the same, but got some plans to do some elaboration and maybe a little bit of additional um, changes to one particular facet that I was thinking about today. And let's see if we switch over. Nope, that does not help with the video. Let's see if I go to video device. We're still trying to get that video to work. Okay, integrated camera. Let's see if we try OBS Virtual. Okay, that's interesting. It's showing our motto here. There we go. That is looking more promising. There we are. Hello, everyone. Oh, and by the way, we do actually have some new sort of merch, if you will. This is a lovely, clever, cool, crazy t-shirt that was part of my Valentine's Day gift from Kelly. So that's wonderful. These are being currently produced by the good people at Tagged, and we're still working on getting out where people can actually purchase them online potentially in future. And let's see here. I'm gonna that makes me a little bigger. I don't know that that really helps our viewing. What I really want to do is bring over for us um, the actual document. Maybe we can actually even do some live editing together. That'll be exciting, won't it? So let me just make sure that I'm seeing if anyone has joined us in chat. Very understandable if no one did. This was a surprise stream. So always fun, right? All right, let's see here. I can see we are live and direct. No one has joined us yet. That is perfectly fine. And like I said, this was a surprise pop-up for people. And let's see if we can't get to a clever, cool, crazy, our latest version that we need to edit. Oh, welcome. Someone has actually joined. Top message. That's awesome. It's probably welcome to live chat. That's always good. So let's see here. I am getting over a head cold, which provides a interesting challenge in and of itself. I can never figure out how to get the video to be a little less persnickety, but that's okay. I'm thinking actually of upgrading my streaming software to, I think it's EVMUX, working with Wes Allen over at DM Tales. He's used that a few times and it's really worked very well. So that may be a future plan or upgrade for the streaming service. we are going to need to get that settled because we will be doing a um, another round of RPGs versus AD starting 2026. We are in 2026, but once we get that set up with some wonderful volunteers live streaming to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association, for those times I need to host, I want to make sure that we don't have quite these interesting technical challenges. So, pardon me, I'm going to try to add another scene here. See if I can get that added for us. Or a source. Let's see. We're going to add a source. Exciting, right? Let's see here. Maybe browser. Let's see here. Okay. And you've just added a browser source. How exciting. So, for those of you who are more expert at live streams, this is probably old hat, but for me, it's all exploration. Let's see. I don't really think that's doing what I want, so let's see if we can just remove that. Yes, I want to remove browser. So let's see. Even if we just had a shared desktop option, display capture, right? That sounds promising. Let's see. Okay, and let's see, capture cursor. Okay. Let's see if we add that in here. Let's see here. That's there. That's there. This is not showing up yet. I need to select a display to capture primary monitor, which will give us this lovely, 3D expression, right? Let's see here. Hopefully that will get us showing you the document shortly. There is a lag in what I'm seeing on the screen. So there we go. Ooh, very good. Sort of almost like 3D effects there, right? All right, I think you guys should be seeing the document, although we're a little off kilter. So if I move this over, let's see here. See if we can get that moved over to make it a little easier for our studio audience, because we want to center the image. So let's see. If I move this over here, see if that will help us get a little more focused. Let's see, I'm going to leave it on our lovely new opening page. Tried to actually give a cover page. So still working mostly on content rather than formatting. Although if anyone has suggestions of what they would like ideally to see the format end up for the document, that actually would be something I would love to hear more feedback on. So as we come down here, what you can see is that we do have a bit more of an expanded table of contents in development here. Trying to go through some of the phase of play more. I did actually run a clever, cool, crazy keep on the Borderlands session yesterday. That was for our fabulous team at the Memory and Cognition program. It turns out we've got some old, not old in age, but old in experience, Dungeons and Dragons players in the team, and we've got some new people to gaming who have taken to it like a fish out of water, and it's been a great experience walking them through Clever Cool Crazy, and they have just really wonderful, imaginative, flavorful characters. We've got a shape changing, a shape, it's not shape changing, a size changing fairy. Uh, you know what? I wonder if I can shift this. You know what? It's I'm just going to keep it where you can't see me for now, although I do like being expressive. But it'll probably be easier to follow along if we keep it focused on the document. But the group had a size changing fairy, a fairy queen, a shape changing dragon, tiny version. Well, I wouldn't say tiny, more small version. And a half orc who sells bog water. Rather questionable, the medicinal qualities of that bog water. I mean, some might even say there was a little bit of a bog water problem at one point for that character. But as you can see, you can have some rather creative characters in Clever Cool Crazy, and the system handles them pretty well. You know, we've run this for um, gritty fantasy, high fantasy, horror, cosmic horror, space opera, mecha wars, dragon riders, and superheroes, modern fantasy, you know, and that is just to name a few. We've done hard sci-fi, so we've run it through quite a few genres. One of our original play testers, Star, aka Seraphini, my oldest child, actually did a baking competition in a one-on-one Clever Cool Crazy session once. So it does have a lot of flexibility. And you can see, though, um, as I scroll down in the instructions for the table of contents, that we've really tried to include more information about what sections are in the document. And I'm going to work on trying to organize this a little better and expand even further. In future, I will also be trying to put some hypertext linking in the document as I get more material in. We are working on increasing the acknowledgments section, and we will be adding some more names shortly, mostly my teen players who are running through a campaign of Clever Cool Crazy, as well as some of our wonderful gaming colleagues that you may know from the YouTube sphere or cons, but that's a work in progress. Character sheet has remained pretty close to the same, as has our cheat sheet, which is still too long, I think. I want to try and simplify, you know, and maybe that's a good place to go with this. Maybe we should start with working on simplifying some things in that format. So we're going to save a new version of this. This is going to be now Clever Cool Crazy 2026-03-13. And that's the naming I use. You can see the numbers are actually based off the date that they are edited, so that we have a running count on what the changes actually are in terms of when the edition was written. So you never have to go back and say, oh, is this a first edition? Is this a fourth edition? What year was this out? Just look at the version number, and that's actually the date it was written. So let's see. Right now we have Clever Cool Crazy cheat sheet, playing Clever Cool Crazy. Very correct in its structure, but it might be a little dry. Okay. And there may be some helpful things we can add to this for people to try and remember. So, what could we add to this? Let's see here. Just looking at our We got 2 people following. Great. So what can we add to this? So when you're trying to figure out which of your features, assets, or conditions would apply to something you're trying to do, I refer to the rule of 2. So let's see what that is. Hello. I've got my little dog joining us. Let's see. And we may have to end the live stream a little early. We'll see how we go. Let's see here. 1. This is the rule of 2. So 2 features, 2 assets, 2 conditions. You pick the 2 most relevant features, 2 most relevant assets, and 2 most relevant conditions for the action. Okay. And what you can do is say, let's see, my, so you want to kind of word this. I'll give an example here, but I may not leave it in the cheat sheet for length, but let's try working this out. Let's see here. Let's do something bog standard. Let's see here. My highest feature or asset with their additional features or assets. We'll put and/or assets. Sometimes I get a little wordy. We definitely need to work on my wordiness with this, but that'll be in the end, the main editing, I think, cutting it down to the simplest terms. Name what you do, or say what you do. So, example here. And again, this is the cheat sheet. I don't know if we want to put a lot of examples in here, but I feel like maybe it would be helpful. So let's see here. My Mountain Dwarf 3 with their, let's see, Berserker Barbarian 2. Well, we don't need because it's an additional feature, we don't even need to put the numbers there. Although you know what? For the example, we'll go ahead and mention them because it will help people think about this maybe. And Mighty Dwarven Axe 1. Let's see. Oh, you know what? We left, let's see here. Highest condition and added condition. Let's see. My Mountain Dwarf 3 with their Berserker Barbarian 2 and Mighty Dwarven Axe 1 fighting through their, how cliche should we be? Why not? for this one, we'll say massive hangover one will seek to hew through the dam and release the raging floodwaters in order to sweep away the fire elementals. That sounds like a pretty good action, right? Now, that is really a good explanation of how you sort of would want to declare your action. From that, you can tell that they're going to need to have a base of 3 because their highest is their mountain dwarf. You can tell that they're going to get an additional 2 because they've got a Berserker Barbarian feature and a Mighty Dwarven Axe asset. So that's an additional 2, 1 for the additional feature, 1 for the additional asset in this case. Fighting through their massive hangover 1, so they just have the 1 condition that applies. So that's just going to be a 1 because that's the highest it is. Will seek to hew through the dam and release the raging floodwaters in order to sweep away the fire elementals. So, sounds like a clever use of the terrain. A little crazy to actually be cutting through a dam. Is it cool? I don't know. I kind of feel like it's cool. So they're going to get all 4 dice, but their pre-roll total is going to be 3 plus 2, so that's 5, minus the 1, so that's 4. So 4, and then they're going to roll 4 dice. Let's see here. Okay, so we got this example here. Again, it may be too wordy, so I may have to do some further wordsmithing on this later. But here we have in the, do we keep this in the steps or do we move this to an example after the steps or at the beginning? That's a really good question. Let's finish some of the ideas within the steps and then we'll see how it looks. Yep, this is how the sausage gets made, sports fans. All right, let's see here. All right. In this example, it would be base 3 plus 1 added feature plus 1 added asset minus 1 condition equals to 4. Pretty simple math. Just got a little bit to keep in track of, but if you do it cinematically first and then very step by step, it's not too hard to keep. All right. Luckily, he was not so hungover that he risks death in this maneuver. Okay. Using the flood waters against the fire elementals is clever. But busting through a dam is crazy. High risk, high reward in this case. But if he pulls it off, it will be cool. So all 3 are awarded and rolls 4 dice. All right. Yeah, I think this is going to look better as an example. I mean, we've got a lot of examples in the main document, but putting an example in the cheat sheet probably would make sense. But I'm thinking the rule tool is good. Having the generic format is good. But let's move the example. I'm thinking I want the example in a separate location. So we're going to move this down here. Okay. And let's get the example here. This cheat sheet's getting way too big, so but we'll have to cut it down at some point. I'm going to put this part of the example right there. Mm-hmm. We're going to move this part over. I know it's ever so exciting, right? But hey, did you have something better to do on a Friday night? You might, but thank you for being here. And if you're coming here after, that is perfectly fine. Thank you for joining us. All right, so we got that there. And then let's see here. We've got this as part of the example. We're going to move that to the example. All right. Yep, we don't need to worry about that. Roll number of dice equal to 1 plus 1 for each Clever Cool Crazy awarded. Yep. Got that. Okay. The player. You know, player is such a generic term that I've just kept it as a word. But the question is, should I make it a specific game term and capitalize it? Um, I'm not sure, but it's something I've thought about. Let's see here. 0, 2, 3, and 5. So keeps the highest, which is the 5, and okay. Gotta love it when your cursor moves on you. It's like spooky action at a distance. And 5s, and as the highest is 5, rolls an additional die, getting a... Oh, I'm feeling like this dam should really birth another 5. So rolls an additional die, which is a 0, meaning the roll total is 5 plus 5 plus 0 equal to 10, which adds with the pre-roll total of 4 equals 14. The fire element. So we have an interesting situation here because he's indirectly attacking the fire elementals. He's also attacking the dam. So there's two ways to do this, technically, but I think the most appropriate as the row would be um, he's got to actually roll against the dam and then maybe the fire elementals. So, but I kind of want to compress this into one single action. So we're going to say that they're going to basically be as if the fire elementals and the dam are helping each other. So their fates will be entwined. The dam as the dam has a resistance of, we won't call it a resistance because I think we need to highlight a point in Clever Cool Crazy, which is anything can be expressed through a combination of features, assets, and conditions, including weather, civilizations, features of the environment. We'll say dam 4. So it's a little bit of a tough dam, but not the toughest dam in the world. And these are simple fire elementals, so we'll just make them a 3, so kind of equal. But they're 3 of them. Now, this is really meant for the pros. So, do I go into a big description of how the row adjudicates this here? Probably not necessary here. Although it was nice talking about this, we do have examples of this sort of thing in the document for the row. I don't know that it belongs in a player cheat sheet. So let's see here. We will say, how about this? The dam, okay, the resistance of the dam and its features plus the fire elementals and their features plus their dice rolled combine for a total resistance of, and we're going to just make this up for the example. I really want to see this dam go down. I'm going to say, because it'd be very easy to say, it's not going to be any lower than a 4. Because the dam gave, even though I've deleted here the example, that would be the dam's base. So it's not going to be any lower than 4. Average roll is about a 3, even with the exploding dice features. But we have multiple. The dam is contributing a roll. The fire elementals are contributing some rolls. So the chance of at least one explosion is not inconsequential. Let's say they exploded once, but maybe they only got a 1 on the second roll. Very reasonable roll. So added 6 plus their 4 as the dam's highest base. And when you have sort of a team up, the fates are determined by the highest roll in terms of the outcome. So that they have a total resistance of 10, meaning the dwarf succeeds and the row narrates, and well, really, and the player describes how the waters wash away the fire elementals. And this was a simple um, encounter. I've added actually instructions that for simple actions that you really want resolved quickly and move on, really, one role should be adequate. It could be that many of the pros, their players are rolling for them as a group, but basically everyone makes one roll, you adjudicate, you move on. If that's going to be the way, usually death should not be on the line. For more complicated actions, you do maybe 2 rounds of everyone rolling. If it's where life and death is on the line, or it's very complicated or very important, that may be worth 3 rounds of rolls. Really describe it out, sort of the setup, the climax, and the end resolution in 3 rolls, if you will. And that would be for the group's fate, but also individual successes and failures will hit hard their characters, despite whether they win or lose or draw. So there can be individual consequences and group consequences. All right, so this is not a bad example. It's a little wordy. Let's see if we can edit it down a little, right? Okay, so we're instead of will seek, seeks, or how about hews? How about that? Let's get rid of some of these words. Uh, well, we don't know if he succeeded, so seeks to hew through the dam, because we get, when he's describing it, we'll make our berserker dwarf berserker barbarian dwarf a little bit less wordy. Um, by the way, just a side note, what you can see here, you know, following classic tropes, a mountain dwarf berserker barbarian, maybe not the most clever individual, but the way they are acting in the environment with what they've got, that's clever. So that's sort of how you do that. So even characters that seem or pros of low intellectual or tactical, if they are positioning and using their pro to the best effect narratively, that's clever. So so basically it's clever to use your massive axe when that's what you got. If you are a rocket scientist, maybe that's, trying to hew through a dam is not so clever. Um, one might argue otherwise, but that's what it would be. So let's see here. In this example, it would be base 3 plus 1, added feature plus 1, added ascent, asset, minus, let's see here, plus 1, yep. Let's see, maybe we'll make that a little clearer. Base is 3, then plus 1 added feature, plus 1 added asset, minus 1 condition for pre-roll total. There we go. And then we maybe make this a little clearer here. Now, little problem giving this example the way I've got it currently worded. Okay, good. We've defined row at the very beginning. And let's see here. that in. So just got to kind of give at least a little bit of a definition here if it's right up front. Okay. And get this edited down for us. All right. Let's see, get that. Player rolls a 0. Let's put a gaming term here, explodes, right? I don't know, am I saying explodes too much? If you're an old hand at games that have exploding dice, maybe not. Uh, maybe so, but maybe not if you're not familiar with that dice mechanic. We'll leave it for now. Okay. It's a nice example. It's almost like a paragraph, though. Would hope it would be shorter, but I feel like it describes the flow pretty well. Let's see here. Make sure we don't have extra spaces that are not needed. Let's see. Now, one thing I've thought about with the cheat sheet is whether or not we need to um, make it a little more uh, basic, because we've got stuff about like, you know, I think it's important for them to know that if death might be on the line. So I think that should probably be left where it is. But this does still, now we're not on one page for at least the actual steps, which I don't like. Um, so, but there's something. Let's see here. Do we really need to say plain, clever, cool, crazy? You know what? We can probably remove this as a cheat sheet. Describe the character's goal and approach. And use that if Okay, there we go. It reads actually a little better, so I like that. We're still one below here. So the question is, can we get this a little better? Let's see. By the way, I really was bad at this. I should have mentioned, if you're watching this, please remember to like and subscribe. Also, in the description is a link to the Google file folder with the latest version of Clever Cool Crazy, which is not yet this one. It's from 3.5. So let's see here. All right, we're going down here. I think I want to tighten this up, but how? How? Let's see. I don't know that we need the word calculate. Pre-roll total, right? This is very wordy. But it's not wrong. Hey, Grimwood Games has joined the chat. Dave, we're doing okay. We've been working a little bit right now on trying to improve the Clever Cool Crazy cheat sheet. I did show that we've done some expansion of the uh, what you call it, the table of contents to get that a little further in. And let's see here if I can do this without breaking the internet. I'll see if I can get us on the video capture. There we go. And just showing up some more of our wonderful, clever, cool, crazy gear that was uh, basically part of my Valentine's Day present. So there you go. Um, don't know if you're seeing that yet. Let's see if it shows up on our camera here. There you go. You get to see a little bit of that. I'm just going to cancel that. We're going to go back to our display capture or attempt to. Let's see if we can get that out of the way, get that minimized. There we go. Let's see. Hopefully we should get back. And yes, Dave, I've already said I need to either get much better with OBS and or go to the EVMUX. I don't know how you pronounce that. That because I was really impressed with how Wes ran it when he did the panel discussion about Page. So, but anyway, going back to this document, we are trying to just kind of maybe improve the cheat sheet a little bit. It's way too long, way too wordy. Uh, but that's what I hear. I guess is it Evmux? I don't know how it's pronounced, but I hear that. I do need to get that. That's on my rising priority list. So thank you for confirming that is a really easy to use tool. So yeah, we're doing some editing right now. Again, kind of focused on trying to do the cheat sheet. And what you may have seen or not is we put in EV mux. We'll see. Anyway, I added this example. Basically, the pro would call out my Mountain Dwarf 3 with their Berserker Barbarian 2 and Mighty Dwarven Axe 1 fighting through their massive Hangover 1 seeks to hew through the dam and release the raging floodwaters to sweep away the fire elementals, which means that basically they got a base of 3 because that's the highest feature asset used. They're going to add, and remember the rule of 2. I'm trying to emphasize up to 2 features, up to 2 assets, up to 2 conditions. Their highest feature or asset in this example is a 3. So that's the base. Then they're adding one more for an added feature, one more for an added asset, taking away their level 1 condition. And that's how they get the pre-roll total. I have heard that, Dave, and I may need to take you up on it. So I'm still trying to get the substance down, but then I may definitely need to look you up on that. So layout, I definitely need. Um, by the way, if you have some favorite tips on layout, what you like to see or you think works really well, sort of as general principles for documents for tabletop role playing games, I actually, at the beginning of the live stream, asked people to put in their suggestions. Again, you don't need to go into the weeds, but if you have like one or two pearls that I can sort of pre-do as I'm writing to make any layout work later on easier, that's always appreciated. But yeah, we've been trying to get this down, and then I do know, I'm not sure. Yep. Oh, hey, Devink5419, welcome. Oh, yeah. No, Devin, I remember you, man, and your daughter. You guys were great. It's great to have you on the live stream. We're working on doing a little bit of editing on the core document. Been working on the cheat sheet here because it's way too long. Um, don't know that I'm going to get it super short today, but we're trying to. Uh, and of course, every time I take something away, I add more. Okay, letter size, 2 columns, and I'll show you the actual. If you look, I do have 2 columns, so good. Do have letter size, 2 columns. Here in the cheat sheet, I don't because I thought it read better as sort of straight lines. What do you think? Do you think that even the cheat sheet should be 2 column? I'll let you comment on that after I work to get this actually in. And Devin, feel free to chime in if how you feel about 2 column versus 1 column as well. Let's see here. As we go down, I'm just trying to see if I can tighten this up. Should be 1. Okay, that's what I thought. That was my instinct. I think emphasis on key concepts help. That is good to know. But the question is, what form of emphasis works best? Is it bolding? Is it just repetition? Is it underlying? Is it box text? Although that's something Dave can help me with later, probably. But at least in terms of the rough flow and how it should be, the content should be written, I need to keep in mind. And it's good you made that point because, like, I just like earlier when we were just a few minutes ago, I realized that I didn't have in the cheat sheet what a pro was really. So I added that little clarification. So great point. Pardon me. I'm still getting over a cold, but mm-hmm. Yeah. Description should be 1. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. So let's see here. See if I can get this a little tighter at all. Oh, it's applicable. Okay. Is equal or less than 0. Find a different approach. Accept defeat and not act. Defy death to act at the risk of death, or embrace death to succeed but be destroyed. A lot of wordy concepts there, but I feel like you kind of need to know your options if death is on the line. What do you guys think? Am I putting too much in the cheat sheet about what to do if your pre-roll total is 0 or less? I'll see what the wisdom of the group is. But in the meantime, let's see if I can do any. I'm tempted to bullet out those options, but that's going to make us flow over into more pages again. So that's the other thing. Okay. Yep. You're right, Dave. I should aim at a simple cheat sheet. I'm trying to probably explain too many of the sort of niche mechanics that the row could work through with the players when they come up for the pros, as opposed to just saying what the core mechanic is. Bold draws immediate attention to a word or two. If the whole line is important, then a box or italics works well. I think that's a good idea. Just core concepts. All right. Well, let's try going a little bit fresh here. So, all right, we'll go ahead and I'm just gonna push this down for a bit. So, although I really kind of like this first sentence, so I might still keep this. Let's see. Describe the character's pros, goal, and approach, and use that if revealer of world, and use that when revealer of worlds calls for a roll. They may not, but it's good to know that. Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. I kind of like the way we've got. Describe the characters. I like this too, with the way I've got it edited. Let's see here. One, two, most applicable to features, to assets, and to roles. This is the role of two. I kind of like that. And then just give this as an example. All right. Still a little wordy, but I do like that part. So let's see. The pre-roll total may be the easiest way to describe this, which I'm worried I'm still like copying a lot from the other one, but I'm gonna simplify it. I swear, guys. I swear we'll get there. I'm gonna put a big or asset. Each additional we can take out the applicable here, saying it's assumed from step one. Okay, and then let's see here. Roll number of dice equal 1 plus 1 for each clever, cool, and or crazy. Awarded. Let's see what we can come up here with. Just keeping an eye on our discussion here. I can do it, I swear. All right. Roll number of dice equal 1 plus 1 for each clever, cool, or crazy awarded. All right. Oh, I need to put plus effort on each effort spent on dice, maximum dice 4 equals 4. All right. And we got to add it all together. Free roll total. We need to tell them how dice explode. Let's see here. I feel like that's part of this, though. Keep highest die initially rolled. And if 5, remember, no 6s, they count as zeros. This is still very wordy. I'm going to get there, though. We will definitely get there. All right, let's see. Maybe initially rolled is here we go. Roll another die and add that, and at 5 repeat. Okay, that seems cleaner. All right. Let's see. I think that actually might be all we need to do, technically. 5 steps. That's a little shorter. It's half of them. All right. So currently, the way I've got this, let's read it through. Describe the characters, pros, goal, and approach, and use that when Revealer of Worlds row calls for roll. Let's say a roll. Player and here, you know what? I was told I should bold. So we're going to do some bolding. Let's see if that looks better on the cheat sheet. Now, you know what? Do we do the bolding just the first time an important term is brought up or every time it's brought up? I feel like every time might be a little too sort of eye-popping. Assets and conditions. I'm going to have to add the rule of 2 to the glossary. We do have a big glossary. Pre-roll total. All right, let's see. Yeah. But yeah, thank for that. It makes it easier for you to find relevant terms, but it may be too distracting. I think the balance might be the first time it's mentioned in a separate reference in a separate section, but maybe after that you don't need to bold it. But I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. Clever, cool, and crazy. Thanks, Devin. I appreciate the feedback. That is helpful. Okay. I will break the rules, bend the rules slightly, because I think for the actual final calculation, re-emphasizing pre-roll makes sense just to really point out the key parts. But other than that, yeah, I think that actually looks good. All right, so that could be our cheat sheet. Now, do I give the example on the cheat sheet? No, I'm thinking if we're keeping it one page, maybe we do just, all this other stuff could be moved to the explanation. Got it. Dave says formulas should always be bolded, and that was sort of my instinct, and it's nice to have a true pro verify it. Just get the functors so there. All right. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this here. Okay, so just showing you guys, this is on one page now. It's almost like half a page. No examples. All right, how are we thinking this is looking? It's definitely, the steps are a lot shorter. Really just focusing on the core things you need to actually do something in the game. The rest, the Revealer of Worlds can walk you through. If you can do this, that takes a lot of the load off of the Revealer of Worlds, if you can just do this as a player. I do like the rule of two being mentioned there. It's a mnemonic I came up with that hopefully will help people remember two features, two assets, two conditions. Um, could it be tighter worded? Yes, probably. But again, if this is the first time someone's playing and they really just need reminders. All right, Devin says step and special rules are important. All right, fair enough, fair enough. So, um, the two main categories of special rules that I think are common enough. There's some more advanced rules I put in. Thanks, Scrat. He was one of the inspirations for one of them. Uh, they the two though that I think are relevant and come up either enough or are important enough are the rules about how to handle ties and the rules about what to do if you might die if things go wrong. Those would be the two additionals that I might consider worth adding to the cheat sheet. That so if I keep those, that would add two more, I won't say steps, but special conditions. So the question is, do we add those? Devin, Dave, what do you think? Do we add in about how to handle what your options are to handle a tie and how to avoid death? Or do we just leave it where it is? And once we nail down this edit of the cheat sheet, what I'll probably do is some of the material that was on the cheat sheet, I may move into the sort of early playing the game intro if it's not well spelled out there. Some of it may help in that part in the main document. And then there is one other thing I really want to edit in during the live stream. Yes, I'm asking if okay. Devin says they should have what the options are, but not a lot of detail. And Dave, what we were asking is, should we include in the cheat sheet what your options are if there's a tie, and what your options are if you might be facing death? So that was the two potential ones to add back into the cheat sheet. Let's see here. So let me just move this up here a little. And we're going to get here. Now, basic list. Okay, okay. So I think we are coming to some consensus there. All right. Let's see. It's got to be before the roll. So here we go. And I feel like now that it would be okay to do like an indent here, because it's really part of this step. I feel like sometimes people get confused about less than and greater than signs, so but they get equal. So I could shorten it that way. I'll get that shortened. Accept defeat seems clear. Defy death. And act. I think defy death is clear. Defy death. And roll. Defy death. Risking death. How about risking death and defeat and death? Ooh, look at that. That's good. That gives you stakes. Or embrace death to succeed but be destroyed. I mean, I'm not giving a lot of description. It's basically a list. I feel like that gives at least enough sort of flavor that people have an idea what these might be alluding to, but it doesn't fully explain the mechanic. We'll bold those. Again, I've tried to make a lot of the game terms be fairly transparent with real terms, so hopefully they give enough sort of information in the way they're worded. So we still got room there. So that if we do that, that looks okay. Get rid of the is. Yeah. Dave, I'm always willing to accept feedback. Feedback is always welcome. I'm again, mostly I've been trying to get out my ideas and test them out to make sure they hold up, but we are now getting to the point where I really could use working to make even these initial materials, since we are now moving more strongly into a play test period, easier to read and understand. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to accept any and all feedback. I also, eventually want to harass Adrian on Dungeons and Dyslexia. I feel like he's got some really good insights into a lot of different things he's read through. So I'm going to have to hit him up for some feedback as well, if he's so kind. Let's see here. All right. Roll number of dice. Yeah, gotcha. If I feel confident. If you mean next time I feel confident that I've got the document in a good place, well, I never feel totally confident with that. I'm always wanting to improve and adjust and add, but so we won't necessarily wait for confident. But I'll tell you, the next time I feel I've at least got it at a point where a I can pause for breath and get feedback to incorporate in the next round, that will be a winner. All right. So we've got the important thing about death, and now we need about ties. So we should have about ties somewhere here that I can steal. Here we go. Copy. And yeah. So let's see here. You know, Dave, it's up to you. We could do it as written feedback, or if we ever wanted to do like a, feedback live stream, like how do you go through a document and improve it? We could always or record it. We could always do that. Then we're getting feedback and more content for the algorithm. Let me see here as I cough up a lung. Actually, I sound a lot better, boy. You should have heard me last week, man. It was not good. Just a cold, but yeah, I think that would be fun. And, I always love multi-purposing stuff. So it would help me, but also, having someone with your background and expertise show how to do the feedback and sort of that can help the whole community and, get some more eyes on this. So I think that'd be a great thing to do. Let's see here. One, we got roll the dice. Okay, equal action total. Okay, actually, we can add here the tie choices. Let's see here. I don't think we need to explain what a tie is, so that may have been a little too much detailed, right? I don't know a two-all tie. That's a kind of weird wording. I wonder what I was saying there. Can keep tied. a tie. I don't know that a tie is really technically a game term, but let's make it as if it is one just to help bring eyes to it. Embrace failure. I don't know if I've got that as a term. I got to double check, but we'll call it a term. And make a devil's deal. We actually don't need to, or roll off. There we go. All right. Well, we still actually kept it to 5 steps. We added two um, uh, options clarifications on step 3 and step 5. We're still on one page. I feel like it is tighter. It could still be tighter yet, but I feel like this might be a good place to pause on the clever, cool, crazy cheat sheet part. There's one additional thing I want to get to tonight. It's a new idea that I want to add into the game. But before I do, any like thing critical that's popping out on the clever, cool, crazy cheat sheet that I should edit or add? Oh, we've got a third person somewhere in the mix. Feel free to jump into the comments. So, just take a quick look at it. See if there's anything mission critical you think we need to edit. I'm going to do one additional like formatting. There we go. Just to make that wording sort of clear that it's part of the role, but not a bottle of text. I think that actually looks good. All right. So we're going to pause with the cheat sheet. I'll get that all moved offline. So, and oh, you know what? I do have a table of contents to help me. So let's see here. As you can see, Dave, I've definitely added more references in the table of contents to subsections in the group. So that's going to help a lot, I think, uh, finding things. Let's see here. Not that I won't do some major reorganization at some point, because a lot of it, I had Calderiac once said it read like a stream of consciousness, and he wasn't far wrong. I mean, this initially started out as a bunch of notes, literally in the notes function on my Apple phone, just to get the ideas in one place. Then it got kind of dumped into a Word document because people asked for something to write. Again, I think that was Scrat's fault. Then, I started like, okay, well, now I got to kind of make this readable because it is a wall of text. And so it's just sort of been this evolution as the document has found increasing needs for the community. Yeah. So, well, that's pretty much what it started out life as, but that isn't how it's going to end up. We'll get it knocked into shape. Let me see here. Protagonist advancement. That's where we need to go. Let's take a look at what was page 31. It's probably page 32 at the moment because I moved a bunch of stuff around, adding the new version of the cheat sheet, but we'll be at least close to that. So here we are. We'll come down here. All right. and there's a bunch of word here about how to gain experience. Decimals don't count. That's right. All right. Let's see here. And we're going to, let's see. I'm just going to format that real quick here. Just thought that reads better as a separate section. So I'm just it's gonna, I think, go somewhere in this scene. It might actually go best at the end of this section, just before finishing the section. So here's the idea. You know what? For this, I may go back on camera. You guys may get a little nauseated as I do that. We'll see here. So let's see if we can get that showing. Okay. And that is probably not going to work out the way I want, so we'll just go back to display capture and get that down. Okay, so eventually I'll figure that out, but I don't want to mess too much with it. Oh, no, that would have actually worked. Okay, so maybe I'll just put it back up that way, and we'll get back on video capture. It won't be pretty, but it'll be done. All right. So, for this section, I thought it better to be a little more expressive. So here's the concept, and it's a training montage. So, as the rules currently stand in Clever, Cool, Crazy, at the end of a session, any leftover effort can be spent at the session rate, converting it to experience to level up your features. And what I do usually is do that at the end of a session. But here's the idea. What if you gave the players the option sometime during a session that one or more of them could actually do a training montage, basically? Have some sort of in-story narrative that would have to take in-game an appropriate amount of time, but basically, like I always go back to the classic movie Rocky 4, training in Russia, leveling up, or go back even, what was it? Was it Rocky 3 with Mr. T and training on the beach? Basically leveling up. So you could, in the session, one or more players could decide their pro wants to actually spend their effort then and there to actually level up one or more of their features instead of at the end of the session. Now, that's a high risk because you may need that effort to actually get through the rest of the session, but it gives people some agency. It allows for a cool scene, um, and it may help to eat up some real world time so it's not like everything's happening in just, the same day. So that's the concept. It would work pretty much identical mechanically to how the end of session spending of effort to add experience to features or create new features or remove enduring conditions. And that might be a reason for a montage. Maybe, they have to go through like showing them getting like operations to get a cybernetic enhancement to take off a enduring condition or something like that. But basically, it would be what you do at the end of a session, except you would narrate how it was actually accomplished and be like a training montage. I would probably shorten it to just montage because, like I said, it could be getting repaired, it could be getting, a some sort of metaphysical experience or epiphany. Doesn't have to be actual training, but it could be training. So that's the concept, and let's go back to the screen here. Let's see we can get the document showing better. So before I start writing that out, what do you guys in chat think? Do you like the idea of including a montage option during play? By the way, Devin, I am seeing your a comment that you find the TOC easier to read if justified alignment with connecting lean to the aligned page numbers on the right side. So table of contents, easier to read if justified alignment with connecting line to the aligned page numbers on the right side. All right, all right. I will definitely look into trying to adjust that. I'll probably do that off camera because I am going to have to wrap up at some point sooner rather than later. I want to get this montage in, but thank you for that. Yes, yes, I thank you for the. It's a line, not a lean. Thank you for not putting a lean on Clever Cool Crazy. I can't afford it. All right, so um, and there is a little lag, but hopefully I will be hearing from you guys shortly about what you think. Oh, thank you for confirming that it's more final layout. Um, what do you guys think of the montage idea? So Dave says, as far as montage, I think it would be difficult to get it in. All right. You may be right, but elaborate for me a little bit. So when you say difficult to get in what manner would it be difficult? Okay. So challenge to incorporate. Okay. Let's see here. So are you thinking, oh, here we go. Gotcha. No, it would be short. It would be more like, it should be like really short, just like a brief description. And the montage is not restricted to one player. So basically, we could say, all right, anyone else during this period training up or doing other activities and want to spend their effort, tell we're going to go around and you tell me what you do. So that's how I would run it. But you're right, I might need to, yeah, yeah. Flashback might be a better way of conceptualizing it. Um, that is a good point. So I still like the term montage because I use flashback. Right, but we actually do have flashbacks already incorporated into Clever Cool Crazy, but it's more to gain a temporary benefit. So I think maybe to distinguish between a flashback to kind of like, oh, you set up this thing so that you've got a temporary, like ephemeral asset, or uh, you know, narratively change things a little bit, or set it up so that the story goes into that where you get an opportunity. This would be a more enduring change that you have to spend more effort to gain. But I do agree we should keep it short, like a flashback. Like a flashback is a good way. In fact, maybe I can even refer like a flashback when describing the montage, but also make it clear that it is about any of the protagonists who want to improve at that point or spend effort to improve their pro. And I'll even say one or more pros. And I should probably give this its own subsection here. Let's just say montage. Keep it short. All right, let's see. Each player can choose to have their pro can choose to spend effort on at the session experience rate. Maybe I need to formalize that term more. Teacher reduce a condition. It's a little redundant, but really kind of hanging in. Each player doing so should briefly describe how their pro improved in game terms, even, well, let's see. All right, so let's see. So right now, what I've typed out here is if there is an appropriate time narratively in a session to improve one or more pros features, add a feature, or reduce a condition, each player can choose to spend effort at the session experience rate to add to or um, create a feature or reduce a condition. Each player doing so should briefly describe how their pro improved, and the time that would be expected for that effort should be added to the passage of in game time. I feel like that's pretty straightforward, but that's because it's coming out of my head. What do you guys think? I think there's probably gonna, yeah, I need to edit a little bit more to make it clear about the session experience rate. Thanks, Dave. I don't know. We'll play test it out. I'll leave it in for now, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it is something people find value at. I think it's especially would be useful for one shots where yes, you could spend it at the end, but otherwise there may not be a chance to actually level up. Okay. So Devin feels like the group would have to do it together, as otherwise timing becomes an issue. So yeah, I mean that I think that's a fair counter. Although I think yeah, Dave, that's the big thing. It needs play testing. Um I think what we could do so that people are included, even if they're choosing not to spend effort, they can briefly say what they were doing during that time period. But I don't know. Maybe that's too much. Maybe we just focus on those who are trying to improve and just briefly get through it so we can move on to the rest of the action. I don't know. All right. Well, I feel like it does what it needs to do at the moment until we play test it more. So at least we've got the idea out there. And I'm just going to put that in our table of contents. I got to fix the page numbers once I do some offline editing. All right. But we'll just say page 31 for now. I'll fix it for the appropriate page, but at least I know its positioning. All right. And as usual, we will add to the change log, which I should have started a long time ago, but I've now done it so that there is the ability to keep track if people are interested. 60305 to 026 0313 changes. All right. Edit it. Player cheat sheet. Forget what we actually call it at the moment. Clever, cool, crazy cheat sheet. All right. Clever, cool, crazy cheat sheet. And added montage option in protagonist advancement. I think that's what we called that section. Yep. All right. So I am going to save as. Oh, actually, I'm just going to save this version. Okay. And then I will later on drop this in the Dropbox. So this version is also available. And I really want to thank Devin and Dave, you both being on Grimwood Studios. Always Grimwood Games, always a good person to have on your side to help you do these things. Let me see if I can go back on camera here, and we'll make this a little bit bigger. Yes, eventually I do need to just also set up at home at least a two-screen rig. That in and of itself would probably take care of a lot of problems, but So thank you once again for everyone being here tonight and helping me to keep on track with our editing of Clever Cool Crazy. Um, and I really appreciate it. I think we've got some interesting stuff that's going to come up. I'm going to get together later with Dave and we'll get some feedback on layouting of games. We'll do some play testing of the montage feature. I think that one I'm especially interested in having for one shots. I think it gives an important option for people to level up when otherwise they might not, if that's what they desire. Again, I think of it as a very optional mechanic, not something that they have to do. And yes, Dave, I think you and Avenue Studios have both said that you guys need to get me to set this up better, which is very true. Um, and I appreciate any help. Although hopefully next time I do this, well, I probably don't know if I'll get on the EV Mux until like another few weeks, but hopefully I'll transition to that, and you can show me how to use that. That would be great. So, in the meantime, if you're coming to this after the live stream, please do remember to like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with our updates on Clever Cool Crazy. And as soon as I can figure out the new Do What You Love to Support Alzheimer's Disease website, we'll be getting rolling our 2026 RPGs versus AD season to raise money and awareness for the Alzheimer's Association. But in the meantime, you all are awesome. And thank you, Dave. Thank you for, I hope it wasn't too boring, the process, but thank you for that. And feel free to leave in the chat what you guys would like to see as the next live stream. Is it more editing and work on Clever Cool Crazy documentation? And if so, which part? Is it doing some more just discussion about it? And or is it something else? Do you want to hear more next time about RPGs versus AD, or about, Alzheimer's disease and related disorders, so you understand what it is we're fighting for? Just put it in the chat, in the comments, and we'll definitely take it into consideration. All right. Devin, Dave, any last shout outs you want? And yes, I will let you know, Dave. We'll definitely get you signed up for RPGs versus AD for sure. I think you and your community would be an incredible asset for the cause. And anything else in the live chat before we say adieu? And I do know we've got a little bit of a lag. I'll just give it a moment. All right. Well, thank you all once again, and stay awesome. And bye, Dave. Bye, Devin. And bye to you all who stuck it out watching this after the fact. Take care, everyone. And close that out.